And welcome to House Call with Dr. Mac, where you get a real doc with straight talk for the whole you. We are here at the beginning of season 5 with Aisha Thompson of BARNOLA. Thank you for coming to the House Call community.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We are so excited that you're here. I mean, we've been talking about this for a little while, right?
Yes, we have.
Okay, and I usually love to have the House Call community give them the background to how guests showed up here in the community. And we go to the same stylist.
Yes, we do.
We have a wonderful stylist. Matter of fact, she's been to the House Call community herself.
Oh, yay, wonderful.
And we've talked about our hair and how our hair tells on us. And we got to talking, and you shared with me your passion for healthy eating and cooking. And come to find out, you have your own company.
That's right. So I founded a company called BARNOLA.
Okay.
We are a snack food company, and we specialize in making delicious, healthy snacks. Right now, we have a great line of granola products, and our goal is to make snack foods that are healthy, low in sugar, and more importantly, infuse spices and herbs into our granolas.
I want some right now.
Yes.
Mean, that sounds so good.
Come and get some. I have some.
Oh my goodness. And you know, we've been able to partner in a couple of events and opportunities around the local area where we live. And the first time I tasted your granola, honestly, I was blown away. I was just like, oh my goodness. It's almost like we kept saying, how did she pack all of this flavor into this granola? And it was healthy and it was good.
That's right. So for me, a lot of that comes from my background.
Okay, so what's your background?
So my family is from the Caribbean. We're from a beautiful, tiny little island called Antigua.
Okay.
And, you know, we make food with flavor. Yeah. And for us, flavor isn't necessarily sugar. Flavor is things like, you know, cinnamon, fabulous things like nutmeg and ginger. So when I started making granola, I thought, why not use those flavors? Why not use spices and herbs? Everyone's using sugar, but there's other great things out there that you can use to flavor your foods.
That's such a good point.
Yes. And then the other wonderful thing is that I got lots of inspiration to come up with BARNOLA. And it stemmed from, I think first it's from my kids. Okay. So I have 3 beautiful little girls, Amira, Taryn, and Anissa, and they all have an array of food allergies.
Okay.
So a lot of times when we were trying to shop for snacks, we ran into tree nuts, peanuts, tree nuts, peanuts. And, you know, when you have little kids, that's extremely nerve-wracking.
Yes.
So I decided, you know what, I love to cook, so why not make my own stuff? So I started with one flavor, and that's the island spice. And
the island spice.
so when I made that, you know, in the house, it would disappear. And I mean literally disappear.
Wow.
So from there, you know, a couple of folks tried it, family. I had a brother I have a brother who has the same allergy, so he fell in love with it. And then a couple of other family members and friends said, hey, this stuff is pretty good. Yeah. So BARNOLA was born.
Wow, that is such a wonderful story. And when you think about that, most companies, most businesses are born out of an experience.
That's right.
And in my opinion, those are the companies that really kind of go forward and make it, because there is an emotional why.
Yes.
There's an attachment to it.
Absolutely.
It's not just about, hey, I have a good idea, I think I can make some money off of it, but you're adding value to somebody else's life.
Yes.
You are saying, hey, you know, I know if I have this problem with my kids, somebody else has this problem, and maybe I can help them out. You know, for us, it's allergies and eczema, and we're not quite sure exactly which food groups cause a flare-up, but we're trying to be very cautious and be more concerned about what are the ingredients in there. And so when we were talking, and I'm like, you know what? There are just times where when we come home after school, it's that bewitching hour.
Yes.
You know, that right after school, we're going, you know, just let me get dinner ready, but I'm hungry. You know, and you want something that's quick and healthy And that's where I started thinking about you again. And that's why I wanted you to be part of our back to school series, because that's what a lot of parents, guardians, those people that stand in the gap for their children, or for the community, they have that worry. It's like, how do we give them healthy snacks?
So I love that that's what you're thinking about. And you know that after we're finished today, we're going to transition and do something wonderful. So I have some great snacks that we can try that are quick.
Wonderful.
And you know what? Not only are they quick, but the great part about it is that your kids could probably make these themselves.
Really?
Yes. And we're going to also incorporate the granola. So we're going to get a healthy snack. We're going to incorporate our granola, get more flavor, get more fiber, and everyone's going to be happy.
I like that.
I like it too.
I like that a lot, because you're having fun with the kids. The kids love to have fun. And I remember speaking with a nutritionist in one of our other series, and she was saying when you get kids to enjoy and join in the cooking process, they tend to eat it more. They tend to say, "Hey, let me try this."
Yes.
And we've talked about that too.
Yeah,
so
that's absolutely true.
I love that you're incorporating the kids, and you're thinking about the parents, because we're, kids think, oh, you just don't want me to have fun, you don't eat anything that's good. No, we just want everybody to be healthy.
That's right.
And have fun. We really do, as parents. We really want you to have fun.
And the great thing about that, I'll tell you a little story.
Yes.
So we're talking about, you said incorporating kids. So I have one of the 3 little girls that I mentioned. One of them is 10. Okay. And, over the years, she's always seen me cooking. She's always gotten involved. So she herself makes food. She makes dishes.
Really?
And she's growing to be this fabulous, explorative person in the kitchen, and making, she makes fabulous cakes and desserts and pastries, and she's 10 years old. But the reason why I mentioned that story is that a lot of it comes from the fact that she was exposed to it and allowed to do it very early. So don't deny.
That's the key.
Let them get involved, let them watch, even though I can attest to the fact that it can be extremely frustrating, because sometimes you just want to get it done. But every now and again.
So my head is bowed.
Yes. But every now and again, let them in.
Let them in. And you're kind of stepping on my toes, but it's good. It's good, because our daughter has shown an affinity to the kitchen very young. From the time when she was 2 or 3, it was always, I want to see, or I want my own ingredients.
Right.
We would say, okay, well, after I finish, I'll leave a little batter for you to stir. No, I want my own ingredients. And now I'm seeing, she's 5, where, like you said, I have to treat her almost like going back into my mind in residency and say, hey, if you teach the interns how to do triage right, then you can go sleep in the call room a little longer. So now I'm saying, you know what? If you teach her how to use the stove safely and properly, and teach them both, okay, this is where all the utensils are and this is where things go, you know what? You can start backing yourself out of the kitchen and letting them explore.
Let me give you a little confession.
Okay.
So like I said, she's 10 and she likes to get in there. It saved me a couple of mornings on a Saturday, because I wake up and instead of me having to come down and do the pancakes from scratch, guess who I find in the kitchen?
Oh, that was worth it.
So mommies and daddies, if there's no other incentive, just think about that Saturday morning when you just want to lay there for another 5-10 minutes and someone's tugging at you for breakfast. If you had let them do it once or twice, you might have gotten an hour. So if you need an incentive, that is.
Oh, yes. Incentivized. I am. Now, when we were getting ready for today's discussion conversation, you were talking about a rule that you have at every meal. Can you tell us about that rule?
So my basic rule is that veggies go on the plate at every meal.
Okay.
And you don't have to eat all of it, but pretty much you have to try it at least once. If you don't like it, that's fine, but at least taste it.
Okay.
And the reason why that rule I think is so important is that over time their taste buds will change, their taste buds will grow. So if they're exposed to it early, it makes it a lot easier for them to fall in love with the food. So my 5-year-old, she eats everything. I mean, literally. So lots of kids at 5, they don't want anything that's green.
Right.
She eats kale, she eats spinach, she eats zucchini. But the reason for that is she was getting it from pretty much when they could chew.
Right.
So if you start early, and you don't necessarily have to force, but you can, gently coerce. And every time they see it, they just start to feel like, this thing should be there. It should be part of what I eat.
That's such a great point.
And it works.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you it works because I had, real live living proof when my daughter, she was about 9, I think, came home from school distraught. Mommy, you've ruined me. So I thought something happened, right? So, mommy gets nervous. They give us fruit snacks at school today, and I could not eat them. They were disgusting. I was like, yes, score.
Parent one.
Right. Yes. So after you enough times of no and giving them other things, they eventually, that's the palate being developed, and that's a child learning good from bad. So, just little, you can insert little bits of wisdom, as they say, along the way, and that helps.
Great. That is great. So I love it.
And so I know my mommy's sitting around here somewhere, and she'll tell you that, and I can tell you that was. I have to back up a little bit and give her the credit for that too, because she was never one to give us, rubbish, what we call rubbish. That's Antiguan in me, right? Give us rubbish to eat. Okay. So I learned that way too. So it was just completely natural to pass it on in that format. And so, I eat lots of things. The girls are learning to eat lots of things. And
that is awesome.
It's helped with the business, because then I can experiment more with spices and flavors. And, they're my little...
they're your test kitchen?
Yeah, they're my test kitchen.
Your focus group.
If it doesn't pass their test, then it doesn't go out the door.
Okay.
So with the exception of the ones with nuts, but it must pass their taste test first.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I really like that. So before we wrap up this segment, I know that we're in the Maryland, D.C. area, and you can be found at some of our local farmers markets.
That's right.
Can you tell us some of the farmers markets where you can be found?
Absolutely. So I would love for you guys to come out and check out our products. We are featured at Crofton Farmers Market, which is on Wednesdays from 3 to 7. That's in Crofton, Maryland. We are also at the Huntington Farmers Market in Huntington, Virginia. We are there on Thursdays from 3 to 7. And on Saturdays, you can find us at the Springfield Town Center. Okay. They have a wonderful farmers market there on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah. And then if you can't get to any of those places, we have a website where you can also find our products. You can order online. We do ship out. Our website is www.lovebarnola.com.
All right.
And, I'm going to throw out a little something there, because I love that if you're listening to this podcast, you're all about good stuff. So if you listen to this show, we're going to add a special discount for ordering, and we're going to put a code out there. It's going to be RealDoc123, and if you enter that, you're going to get a discount off of your purchase.
Awesome. House Call Community. This is awesome. Our first promotion code. I love it. Yay. So if you are listening to this podcast, you go over to Barnola's website and put in the promotion code. We're going to have it in the copy of the show. So it'll be on our website. It'll be in the copy of the show on the podcast in the description. So you don't have to worry about rewinding if you're driving or whatever. Just go and look at it later. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. One other thing I wanted us to touch on before we transition. So, guys, we're going to transition to our video. So if you're listening to the podcast, Aisha has just consented so graciously to let us video her putting together one of these really quick easy snacks. So you can head on over to the YouTube channel and catch the video portion. But before we close down our audio portion and this podcast portion, there are two things I really want us to touch on. One, you know, a lot of people will probably say to you, yeah, this sounds all nice and good, but when the rubber meets the road, or when the ducats have to come out the pocket, you know, can you give us some tips on how to be healthy on a budget?
Absolutely. So it doesn't mean eating well doesn't mean expensive.
Okay.
That's a big mistake. And if you could look at it this way, by eating well now can save you on your pills later on. Okay, so let's just make that one rule. But to get down to the real grassroots part of it, meal planning helps, and I will attest, I'm not always good at it, but I typically have it in my head some way. So if you kind of know what you're going to do for the week, it makes it easier to grocery shop. It can save your trips to the store, and you can utilize. Every grocery store has a sales paper. Don't be shy. Use the sales paper.
Yes.
Coupons. Love them.
Coupon.
Go for the the coupons.
Yes.
There's no shame in it.
Yes.
And you know, think of the rainbow. When you go shopping, think of the rainbow. Pick out colors from the rainbow, and just think about enough to get you through the week. And if you can also do little cool things, like if you can't always buy fresh, canned goods are great. Canned beans are very inexpensive, full of fiber, great protein alternative.
Okay.
Frozen vegetables, those are okay too.
Yes.
Get a couple of bags. You can get mixed veggies, spinach. You can get those for like 99 cents. Think a bag a day, that's $5. Right? So there are lots of easy little ways that you can, keep those good foods on the plate. Buy bagged apples. They're a lot cheaper than buying the loose ones.
I like that too.
So we're talking about maybe $1.99 a pound. You buy a bag, you might pay 99 cents.
Yeah.
That dollar goes really far.
It sure does. Sure does.
So just keep those little ideas in mind when you go shopping. Use your circular. Don't be afraid of it. Find coupons when you can. And it doesn't mean going overboard and, doing the websites and stuff, but most papers will have one in, a little packet in there that you can grab and snip. And, like I said, buy bulk whenever you can. And frozen fruits are great as well. So frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries. Incorporate all of that into your meal planning.
I love it. Now, one last thing. Are there any books that you could recommend to our house call community?
Well, so I'm going to tell you about something that's related to books, but it's not quite books that I could recommend.
Okay.
But I will throw in something that's not necessarily house call community related, but I happen to love this book, The Magic of Thinking Big. So if you're ever feeling like your brain is shrinking, pick up a copy of that book. I found it, I'm going to make up a word, I found it fantabulous.
I love it.
But on the topic of books, something I'd love to share before we go is that, growing up on an island, Antigua is very small.
Okay.
Here you have tons of libraries. We had one little tiny library. And one of my goals and missions behind of BARNOLA is to be able to buy books to donate back to children.
I love it.
So as our business grows, our big passionate part of my goal is to be in a position where we can take proceeds from our company, buy books for children both here in the U.S. and back in Antigua.
I love it.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk about that more offline.
Okay.
I love that.
Cool.
That was one of my dad's passions too. Oh. Yes.
We're doing a virtual high five, guys.
There you go. So we're going to go ahead, House Call community, and transition over to our YouTube channel so that we can see a great, easy, fun and delicious snack that you can make for your little people or yourself. Now that we're back in school, it's, you know, I like to say back to school, back to you. So as your little people are off and making sure that they're tucked away and making sure that they're, you know, making strides in the school year, it's now time to start taking care of yourself as well. So this is part of our back to school series. I'm so glad that we kicked it off with Miss Aisha Thompson of BARNOLA, talking about healthy snacks, talking about how we can make our families healthy, how we can give them some choices so that as that nice little flu season starts creeping up on us, we can all stay healthy, okay? So as for now, we're gonna say bye for now. You guys head on over to the YouTube, got tongue-tied. You guys head on over to the YouTube channel and we'll see you there. Bye now.